party here with me. But before we jump into player introductions and before we start setting the stage for the events of tonight, I'm going to give a quick shout out to our sponsors. And first on the list, we have Session Zero Clothing. They have D&D inspired streetwear. Use code ORDER at checkout for 15% off. We have Mithril Armory. They are creators of insane dice, puzzles, tabletop tiles, and gaming accessories. The 10-20 foldable metal dice puzzles, again, kick my bohiney. Maybe you'll be better at them. I still beat chills is really all that matters. You can use code initiative in their shop for 10% off. We have Norse Foundry. They're artists and dice makers. You can use code TIO15 at checkout for 15% off in their shop. I'm also a sponsor under the moniker of Umbral Oculus Dice. That is UO_dice on the Instagram. You can use code initiative in my shop for 10% off full sets, which I will have a restock coming soon. So that's awesome. Finally, after moving, because goddamn. But yeah, all other subs and bits go to support TIO and all of their initiatives to be an inclusive and progressive and accepting community, and the charity events that we do here. And they're freaking awesome. So do the thing. Come join our community, be a part of it. All right. So first up on my player list, Tracie, go ahead and introduce yourself and your character.
Hello, everybody. My name is Tracie. I go by Miss Magitech on the internet. I am a streamer, cosplayer. I play tabletop role-playing games all the time, basically. On my own channel, we play D&D and Cyberpunk Red. I play other games like VTM and Kids on Bikes, things like that. So love tabletop role-playing, love Dune, and I am excited to be here. I am playing Shizu. She is she is of House Nagara, the heir. She's very martial, she's like next in line. She's the eldest child, so she feels like she has a lot of responsibility. And I wasn't here last week, but I am back now, and Shizu is back, so I am excited to get back into it.
Some Sherrick.
Hello, I am your favorite bird on the internet. You can call me a Black Sparrow. I am a podcaster, Twitch streamer, entertainer extraordinaire. I appear frequently on Mondays for Feywild and Out, where I play a lovely character that is a Hexblade Warlock, but that's, for other places. Here, I play a Bene Gesserit named Alice Dominica, who is suspect of most people and just happened to show up to help things to right the proverbial ship last week, but we'll see how things go.
Nate, at least you don't have to roll for this one.
We'll see about that. You never know. Hello, everyone. My name is Nate Bushman. I'm a photographer, designer of costumes, makeup stuff. Currently doing a lot of writing stuff, which I can get into later, and also occasional GM for a bunch of stuff such as VTM, as mentioned by Tracie, also Cyberpunk, which adore. And today I'm here as playing Zafir Kallas, the sword uncle of House Nagara, and I'll roll perfectly fine. I'm not jinxing myself at all. This will be great.
Alrighty, Jess.
Howdy, hey, hello. My name is Jess. You can find me around the internet, Instagram, j.rancor, or everywhere else, Goblin Queen with 3 E's. I am a general tabletop RPG enjoyer, both in real life and online. And I am playing Natalia Khan, who is House Nagara's mentat. She is a human computer and likes to calculate all the risks, which there are many.
Only mostly. And of course, last but not least, Miguel.
Hi, everyone. That's me. I'm Miguel. You can find me around the internet at Miguel_Classico on Twitter, Instagram, etc. I'm a TTRPG generalist, do a little bit of GMing, performing, streaming, etc. Currently working on a book about making burritos in a modern fantasy setting. I'll be playing Jiro Nagara. Jiro is Baby, the younger sibling of House Nagara, the stylish socialite with a hidden agenda.
ominous.
Isn't it though?
Isn't it though? And I am Taryn, also known as Valrook across the socials. I'm a general and creative human, TTRPG player and GM, dice maker under the moniker of Umbral Oculus Dice, and an Eldritch entity. I stream here for this show. I will be streaming here as a contestant in the upcoming Mythical Melee, which is Super Smash themed here on the initiative order. And all I can say is I got to go fast, and you're way too slow. So I'm excited for that one coming up here on the initiative order, starting here in August. I stream every other Tuesday, including this coming Tuesday, over at the Red Hair Inn, where I play a Hexblood Druid cinnamon roll. If you want to come watch me in like full-blown cosplay, we do that every other Tuesday there. And starting in August, now I will be running a mini series over at the Red Hair Inn on alternating Fridays, called Dust to Dust, and of course it's spoopy themed because it's written by me. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get ready to head into tonight's adventures, an alternate vision of what happens when the stewardship over Arrakis is handed to a family other than Atreides, House Nagara. So let's go ahead and roll our intro and begin setting the stage. Okay, so last session, after the attempted assassination and near loss of your mentat, Shizu took it personally and dedicated herself over the next couple of weeks to strict martial training. None of you saw much of her. Jiro, understanding his sister, knew this was just something she needed to do to process what had happened to Natalia. But in the wake of that, during all of those events, Alice, your Bene Gesserit and cousin, met up with you finally on Gady Prime. Immediately walking in and going, "What the hell have you all been doing? I was gone for 5 seconds and one of you's in the hospital." So you are then sent on your first training mission together, where you were sent because of suspected involvement by a rival house. You were sent into the underbelly of Gady Prime, into one of the districts, to find a shady character who is known to have most intel. And basically the Harkonnens have an arrangement with them to let him operate and do his business, so long as he gives them what they want on occasion. You did manage to meet up with him because of Alice's success and understanding the way that things were flowing, as well as Natalia's sick rolls. You met up with him and he agreed to give you whatever information he could find. A week goes by no information, you are called into Churro Imshell's study, essentially, and you're told that they found him dead, clearly murdered, with a message that basically said there was no evidence that there were more of them there, and really didn't come up with much. Following this, you receive word, Jiro, that your mother, the Countess, had sent in your first shipment of goods that you, as a house, were all now responsible for. It was up to you to inspect these goods, ensure their quality, repair whatever was damaged, and then sell them to a Chom officer at a good price in order to provide you with funds for your upcoming journey to Arrakis. Sabria was a fierce negotiator and pulled many leverages over your heads. However, negotiation seems to be where you excel. And as a group, you managed to get good pricing for all of your goods, even your no wares, the damaged goods that you had found in your shipment. Upon returning to your dormitories, you had the moment to reflect on the day and the recent events. And with that, you return to the dormitory where Shizu finally returns in, sweaty after days of training. And it's in this moment that you have the room.
Cousin Shizu, welcome back.
Alice, good to see you.
I can, of course, say the same, though I wish that I could have said it sooner.
Agreed, but I'm glad that you're here. There is much work to be done, obviously.
Indeed.
How's everybody been?
Oh, you know, hanging in there.
Doing well, sister. I hope you've worked out whatever you've needed to.
I did, yes.
I think in anticipation, Jiro would have had prepared a little cheese board, something from home, to help lighten the mood. None of the stuff they serve here on Gatey Prime, all of it's too smoky here. You know?
Yeah, everything is smoked Gouda.
Which is fine, but you need variety.
Might be able to snag some smoked cheddar. Still just...
I would just look at you, Shizu, and be like, how has your training been?
It's been good. I tend to do that to kind of blow off steam, I guess, let my mind be distracted for a bit after everything that happened the other day. I feel like it helped.
Good to hear that it helped.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, we are here and so grateful for Alice's arrival to make sure that something like this doesn't happen again.
I hope so.
You guys, reflecting on everything, fill Shizu in, because Shizu's been out of the loop. So Shizu, you are informed of how the negotiations went well. Mm-hmm. You find this moment of pride, and you're also kind of slightly irritated that nobody that you were training with even told you that your mother had sent goods. But then you also hear of this assassination of y'all's contact. Mm-hmm. In this moment, how does Shizu feel hearing this and knowing of the assassination attempt?
Definitely concerned for our house, I think. This is... What do you all think is the best option then? Should we keep a low profile here for now, or do we...
I suspect there's a very high chance that it is already well known about us being on this planet.
This is true. You're right. But
Don't know how to keep a low profile.
One of these days,
also true.
I will teach you, Cousin Jiro.
At this point, it's a little difficult to keep it quiet, especially on Gady Prime.
I suspect that it may be in our best interests to stay out of the underground, by all means necessary. At least Shizu and Jiro, of course.
Yes. I had thought that us being here on Gady Prime, we would be safe. And I think we will be. I don't think that anything will happen to us, but we are on one of the most militant planets. And I don't know. So far, things are not going at all how I expected.
And that phrase sticks with all of you for the rest of the evening. Things are not going at all as I expected. As you all sit alone in your rooms and your bunks, this radiates in your head until the following morning when, of course, you were all beckoned. And Corbus Zahn shows up to retrieve you for the next day's training. You're led down the hallway. Minor niceties exchanged. Nothing much. The Harkonnen aren't known for that, anyways. You can tell there are like attempts to be cordial, but it's a little awkward for a minute until finally, as you begin to hit the outside of the building, he just turns to all of you. You've done well for House Nagara. Sabria is not one of Chon's easiest delegates to work with. She even makes my mentat nervous. He kind of chuckles and approaches you a bit. In fact, the Baron Harkonnen thinks you're ready for an even bigger task. Looks at you slyly. He ushers you to a private car now waiting in a thrumming suspensor tube where you speed off through the transparent tracks. As you all sits across from you with a pleasant grin on his face, but you're not sure if that comforts you at this phase of where you all are or makes you suspicious. Ahead of you, thick black smoke billows into the air from a large building. The hiss of steam and clank of machinery penetrates even the transport tube. That sick, smoky, oily, grimy smell returns. You cannot escape it, no matter where you go, in the food, everywhere. It's all you smell. As you step away from the vehicle, heat and distinct fumes of metal manufacturing blast you in the face. It goes from being a pretty strong smell already in the vehicle to assaulting you. Zahn gestures toward the building. Today, you will experience how this factory runs and how we, as Harkonnen, increase efficiency. As this is a secure facility, your troops can stay behind and guard your shipment while we await its collection by Chong. At this point, if you have any questions, you are free now to ask Zahn.
Natalia, raise my little hand. When you say efficiency, do you mean in the production of spice, or just are you in general showing us how to be efficient?
This is a local weapons factory that manufactures stunners, dart guns, and daggers, kinjals. Based upon the latest production reports, this factory output has decreased slightly and not kept up with the gains and efficiencies that other similar factories output. This is a lesson in general efficiency. I want you to observe and see what can be improved upon. And with this, I will allow 2 people to make communicate tests. And I will let you know ahead of time that this is a difficulty 4 test. I will alternatively allow 1 person to make this test and allow everybody else to assist.
Mike communicates.
Yeah, same.
It's middling.
Yeah.
Who would like to
dude.
make? I mean, you don't have to make this test.
Like at all?
You don't necessarily have to. You're encouraged to try.
4 is a
Who's
lot
making
of numbers.
It is. But with multiple people assisting,
That's true.
Could do 1 person and have everybody assist, perhaps.
I'm up for being the 1 or one of the 2. So, yeah.
All right, Jiro, roll communicate, as you're already suspicious.
Jiro is always. Yeah, so communicate. I see this as a big part of my duty as a member of House Nagara to really get to the bottom of what's going on here. So I come up, start communicating. So communicate 7, duties an 8. That's 15. I rolled a 14 and a 3. Were mine, but I don't know what.
What was your target number? You said communicate.
15.
15? Okay, so that's
Yeah.
2 successes. Who was assisting? Or if everybody assisted, everybody roll.
Assist.
And just roll 1d20.
Just 1, okay.
I got a 5.
9.
13.
Also a 9.
Okay.
Jeez.
With that, Jiro, watching the way that Zahn is communicating with Natalia and looking at Zafir and side-eyeing Alice and generally just watching everybody, you can't quite discern exactly what, but you can tell that he's hiding something from you.
I kind of just, in my watching, questioning, so usually when we're hosted by other houses to inspect or observe their processes, factories going on, there's a little gift bag, a little sample of the goods made there, or some other wares. There's perhaps a gift shop we can traverse through at the end, and we can pick up some of these.
That sounds like a waste of energy and
Stun-
therefore would not be considered efficient.
I see.
You need no worry about
how
stun
Harkonnen.
guns. Your troops are fine. They can hang back. There's no need for you to have any kind of weapons. You're fine. This is safe.
Sometimes
This
there's
is in
hands,
the
though.
middle of the barony. Our troops are plenty sufficient to protect you. And besides, the Countess would not be happy if anything happened to the shipment of goods that she gave you. It might be best if they hang back.
Well, you heard, gang. It's best if they hang back, but Shizu, as always, I defer to you, older sister.
Well, I kind of like, do I suspect that you suspect something's up? I feel like I would.
Were it anybody else, maybe not. But
Yeah.
because it's Jiro, I would say you're not sure. It's the same thing. You're not sure of what he suspects, but you know he suspects.
Right.
Can I do a thing?
Yeah.
I have masterful innuendo, which isn't at all what I thought it was going to be. As far as
That's amazing.
it says, I have a special knack for saying more than one thing at once, conveying one message with the literal meaning of my words and another with innuendo, allusions, and signals that only the intended recipient would understand.
Mhm.
Like when you attempt a communication test, you can increase the difficulty by 1 to conceal a hidden message with my words and state who the intended recipient is of the hidden message, and no one else can discern or people other than the intended recipient cannot discern that you have concealed another message unless they have this talent or some other ability. So I pass a message to Shizu and be like, this is fishy.
Yeah, I would say absolutely. Y'all rolled 6 successes. So I would say absolutely. Shizu would definitely pick up on that. Just you guys have grown up together. You've always had to hide snacks from your mother. And I mean,
yeah, we have.
It's true.
Oh yeah. Yes, you have. You pick up on this, Shizu. And Zahn begins to usher you forward. He points out the different types of machinery and assembling processes as he takes you through this factory. I need you to roll an understand test, difficulty 2. Everybody's allowed to do this.
I got it with my big old brain.
Okay. My target was a 13 and I got a 12.
Awesome. This is difficulty 2.
So
I got a 16 and my target was 13.
Are you rolling 2d20 or 1?
2. I got a 16 and a 2.
Okay. Let's do...
My target was 11. I got a 2 and a 19, so I got 1 success.
Not get this.
My target was an 11, and I got 2 4s.
Nice. My my other one was 13. My bad. So meets it beats it, I think.
Yeah, it's meets it beats it. So
yeah, 2 successes.
So Natalia, Zafir, and Alice all got 2 successes. Or you only got the 1, Natalia? Just 1. Okay, so Zafir and Alice, you notice very few safety protocols in place. In fact, as you tour the factory, open vats of chemicals literally cause your eyes to tear up and your lungs to seize. You don't see any kind of monitoring or protective equipment used by any of the workers. You see dangerous hazards of all varieties around every single corner. And with that, the 2 of you, I need you to make communicate tests. Difficulty 3. You do have 2 momentum up here. So I will say either both of you can roll and use momentum from whatever, or somebody can roll and the other can assist.
I don't mind assisting Alice if you want to roll.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. I have an ability that I've been sitting on for a bit that I'm like, I don't know if I want to use it yet or not. It's called Mask of Power, and I can intimate that I know more than I do about an enemy's secrets. So I can essentially create an asset to either blackmail them or say that I have an owed favor or something like that, to initiate an intrigue or espionage conflict with a person of my choosing. I don't know if I want to use that here, though.
I would hold off.
Okay.
A few minutes.
Okay. Fair enough. I've just been sitting on it. It's like I have to use it at some point.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So I will. Okay. Yeah, I'll roll. That's gonna be a target of 12.
Are one of you assisting, or are you both rolling?
I'm going to assist.
Okay. I got my target was 12 and I got 2 9s.
Okay.
And I got an 8.
Awesome. So that is 3. As the 2 of you are walking through after noticing this, you lock eyes with some of the workers, and several of them are turning away from you as you enter each section of the factory. Others narrow their eyes at you guys, almost challenging your authority silently. There's an unsettling tension in the air as you continue through. At this point, Zahn takes you all to the busiest area of the factory. Superheated metal bubbles and hisses in a massive vat suspended above the factory floor begin to kind of wriggle a bit. Workers use chains and pulleys attached to this giant tank to tilt it, pouring the molten liquid into molds for weapons, bodies, and parts. Steam and smoke choke the air. You are glad when Zahn declares you have seen all the important parts of the factory floor. Now that the tour is done, you can interview some of our laborers. Please meet Zav Cameron and Colrin Bentlix. Zahn gestures for the two to join you, pulling them away from their positions manning huge pieces of industrial equipment. Zav is tall with a powerful frame. She refuses to meet your eyes, perhaps a sign she is timid. She chooses her words carefully and shudders when she responds. Zav is clearly trying not to lie, but is also phrasing her answers as diplomatically as possible. Corlin is a lanky fellow with a mop of brown hair. He seems to want to lash out at you and at Zahn, but barely keeps himself in check. Corlin has a dismissive, disdainful attitude, but also looks at you with a timid form of hope. So, they are now before you, and you are free to ask questions as they approach.
Hello. We are of House Nagara. My name is Natalia. I am the House Mentat. We would love to pick your brains, as it were.
Zav kind of looks up briefly at you and then back down while Corlin does not break eye contact. And Corlin just kind of looks at you.
Right, of course. How are you enjoying your job?
Corlin immediately bursts in. I don't have much of a choice but work here, do I? And Zav, this is what I do. It's not really important to like it, if you think about it.
Yes, very good answers. Is there anything that you wish to improve upon at your job?
That and Zav responds, that's not really something I think about, and then looks back down. Corlin, I don't know, maybe make sure the machinery is, actually maintained so it doesn't break all the time, or maybe, don't. And you look over as Zahn is glaring at Corlin before Corlin just kind of floats off the sentence and stops talking.
Oh, okay. Yes, I would suspect that a scheduling of routine maintenance. Yes, very good. Very good. Anyone else? Questions?
As you see, Zahn kind of steps away a bit and kind of puts some distance. You can tell that he's watching, but he has given a bit of distance as somebody is asking his advice, and he is kind of taken away. So he's reading something in front of him, but he's like side-eyeing, but there's a bit of space.
How long have you two been working here? And what are your hours like? Long days or?
All day, every day.
Okay.
For ever. Corlin just shrugs and looks at you.
Is your sample policy? You have some extras lying around. We'd really love to just see what the quality of your wares up close.
Really? That's what caught you? You want to know the quality of our...
Something to take home to the kid.
Corlin just kind of glares. Yeah, we don't get our hands on the finished product.
I see. Understand.
I don't know if you've noticed, it's a little tense around here.
I have noticed at great length how tense, and Alice kind of like takes a look back from where they came, remembering like the toxic like chemicals and such. Uncomfortable these situations are. Shizu, Jiro, if I may.
Of course.
And I feel like this is where Mask of Power is coming into play. I feel like this is what you were asking me to wait for. So Alice kind of makes a show of like not what's the word I'm looking for? She kind of like she makes a show of not making a show. Like it is clear that she's not like changing her tone or anything like that, but she very much is kind of doing that lean in of like, I could fucking ruin you kind of a bit. Like, and I'm trying, I don't know much about the world. So give me like a big person that can get this factory in trouble. I guess that she could say that she's got in her pocket.
The manager.
I was about to say at this point, you can literally one, you're a Bene Gesserit.
Mm-hmm.
But two, you were told earlier today that Baron Harkonnen,
yeah, the Baron
is impressed with your group.
Okay.
You can straight up be like, okay, just so you're aware, the Baron is actually very proud of how we're doing. So
okay, I think the thing is though that the asset is a lie though, is what I'm.
So yeah,
I'll roll off of that.
You have that
person, of that.
But you can then.
Okay. All right, cool. I got this. So, listen, Zav, Colrin, you're familiar with Baron Harkonnen. He is very eager to know exactly what is going on at this factory, and I would hate to have to tell him that the conditions are so bad and the workers so uncooperative that perhaps this place should perhaps cease operations. Now,
that's not. We're perfectly safe here.
I disagree.
And you see him begin to stutter a bit, and he looks over at Zahn, who immediately approaches back. Our safety protocols are implemented at a higher level so that the workers don't have to worry about them. We handle it from above.
I believe Cousin Jiro requested a sample, and I think that would be the best course of action at this point.
We can certainly do that.
You know, for the Baron.
Yes.
Let's
report.
Let's head back to administration. And as you begin to walk away, with an ear-piercing squeal, the supports holding the reservoir of smelted metal above you snap and break.
Oh boy.
The scalding liquid gushes out into a boiling flood. Before you can react, the melted metal surges over the two workers. The stench of burning flesh fills the air. Screams rise from all corners of the factory floor. The workers scramble over each other as they flee. As you are all evacuating, I need each of you to make a difficulty 3 move test. Do remember that you have your, what is it called? Your automatic success buddies. And you do currently have 6 momentum. So you may at least roll 3 dice. But do remember that some of you have an automatic success that you can roll. You are also welcome to try to grab either Zav or Corlin, but it will increase the difficulty of the task. In this situation, because of Alice's attempt, it will be an increase of 1. You have 6 momentum.
I
You
will
do.
try to grab one of them.
Okay.
I'm feeling.
I wrote
cheesy.
Zav personally, but you do what you got to do.
I think Zav, they were nicer than Corlin, so I will grab.
That's what I was saying. I was like,
and more cooperative. So okay, I did a lot of training, and I'm feeling kind of like more ambitious than normal. So I'll try, and so it's a move, which I do have pretty high move. And I'm going to use truth as my statement because I feel like we're trying to really figure out what the heck is going on in this place. So this kind of leads me to that truth. So 7 plus 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 is what I'm at. And so I roll just the 2d20. And if I want to use momentum, or
I would
3?
say you have to, I was going to say, it's a difficulty 3. It's 1 momentum to roll an extra dice.
Okay.
3 momentum if you want to roll 2 extra dice.
Okay. I'll stick with the 1 for now. And we'll take a risk, see if we can get 3 successes. Okay. So I rolled a...
Don't forget, I think you were gone last time. What is it called? Kids, what is it called? When
Determination.
You're determined. Yeah, you do have, Shizu does have 2. So what you can do is you can turn one of your dice into an automatic 1.
Okay.
You can spend one of those 2 determination to do so and grant you a...
Okay, so spend determination. Okay, so I'm just gonna write this down. Okay, so I'm gonna spend one of those to turn my 15 into a 1.
Okay, so that's 2.
And then I rolled a 7 and a 5. So that should be under.
That is 4 successes. So Shizu, you hear the pop of that chain and instinctively reach forward, grabbing Zav by the collar as you bolt back and continue and just run. Alice, how did your roll of difficulty 3 go? Do you want to spend momentum to roll 3 dice?
I'm trying to decide if I want to try and save the other idiot. I haven't rolled yet. That's what I was sitting here thinking.
You can only save one of them.
Okay, fair enough.
It
Then
is
I will
stipulated.
then tell you what, I will use momentum to roll 3 total, and I'm going to say move, and I'm also going to do truth because that'll give me 12. So I got an 8, a 10, and a 4.
And what was your target number?
12.
3 successes. Alice, instinctively, you begin to feel a disturbance, like frankly in the force, but you begin to something's not right.
Yes.
Even before the chain snaps, you find yourself already backpedaling as there is just a feeling in your gut. And with your training, you know something's wrong as Alice books it out of the way. Zafir? How you doing, Nate? How's it going? Are you rolling?
Everything's great. Everything's Gucci.
Are you gonna use one of these buddies? I'm
gonna use my last determination.
Okay.
Because I'm just, why not? I'm a little worried. So I only roll 1 d20 then because of that, correct?
Yes.
I'm going to use, obviously, move. Which I have a 6 in. I'm going to do duty because my life is pledged to my house. So I would probably, even in trying to make sure I'm safe, make sure everyone else is getting the heck out of the way. So that would be 12 overall.
You got this.
I got a 9, so I got that determination. And
let's go,
9,
baby!
Zafir, you have been in combat situations and instinctively you bolt back up and out of the way and begin to turn and run, hearing all of the squeals behind you. Natalia? Will you be using momentum?
I will be using a momentum to roll 3 dice. And we're doing move, which is low. And I think at this time, I might be using my faith statement
Okay.
to but I'm just going to believe really hard that I'm getting out of here. Okay, 3 dice. Sorry, my target number is 12. I got a 12, a 20,
Mm-mm.
and an 18.
Also,
For one, I need you to add painful burns of 2, actually 3, onto Natalia.
Ow.
As this trait has a number, it adjusts the difficulty levels by that number. All tasks you are going to be attempting until it is treated are 3 higher. As Natalia, you go to run, you see the queue of everybody else, but you lock eyes with Corlin in that moment, and it trips you up, and the molten metal grazes past both of your feet. You do manage to run out of instinct, but you are currently very badly burned. Jiro?
There's a 100% chance that this frickin' sucks.
I packed the wrong notebook today, so I don't remember if I have a determination left. So I
think you spent them both last time.
I was pretty sure I did.
Negotiations, yeah.
Yeah.
You do have 3 momentum.
I'm gonna spend a momentum.
1 or 3, because one of them will give you 1 extra dice, 2 will give you.
But then that's all the rest of what we have. So
that is. Okay.
Oh, Pokemon. Okay, I'm gonna spend the 1 to roll 3 dices, and my move is a whopping 4. But I think I'm also using faith because I'm just like putting faith in my training and my whatever that I'm gonna GTF out of here. So that's a 10. That makes my target a 10. It's a 1.
Okay.
Yeah, and 2 15s.
Well, you have then a trait called Painful Burns 2.
Yep. Also,
all
cool,
tasks.
Cool.
It only catches 1 of your feet as you begin to run.
Oofa doofa.
Yep.
That's not
Cries and sobs tear at your resolve. Many of the workers are suffering from burns or were trampled while the others were trying to escape. Zahn wrinkles his nose and sighs, looking at you, seeing your wounds. I don't think we're going to get much work done today. Come with me to the administrative offices and we could at least look through the net factory numbers and records and get you some treatment. He adds, of course, that you specifically and receive treatment, mentions nothing of the workers. As you start to be taken and headed toward administrative offices, you do see wounded and injured workers. I have a question for you as a house. Do you stop to help any of these workers, or are you ignoring them and following Zahn?
I think with both of my feet and probably most of my lower leg getting completely burned,
I feel like Natalia's definitely just going.
Yeah.
You can make this individually.
I think I sort of like go up to Zafir and like put one of my arms around him to sort of help support myself because everything hurts.
It's not.
That actually lines up with what I was. That was actually lining up with what I was going to do. Is I was going to run over to you and immediately be like ready to help you out wherever you needed.
Scoop me up.
Yeah, literally, just like
there are Harkonnen guards that come up, and Natalia, you are being kind of carried at this point. Jiro, you are also one arm offered by one of the Harkonnen guards to help you get.
Oh, I'm looking for a litter or lighter. What are those called when people just lift you up on like big? I'm looking for one of those. I'm like, I know the Harkonnen have them, and I'm like, bring one around. My Tootsie hurts.
Actually, in that case, if Harkonnen is helping Natalia, I actually want to check on the workers, because with the way Alice and I rolled on the security of this place, my instinct is immediately like, okay, we need to lock this place down. This is not acceptable. And I immediately would check on the workers.
Alice cares somewhat for the workers, but she sees this as a good way to get some more information first and foremost. So she's going to stick around and try and help the workers.
Okay. So are three of you staying? So like looking around and helping people. With that, I want one of you to roll. One of you, I want you to roll an understand test. Your choice of all the things. And I want the other two to assist as you are going around helping workers, talking.
I will roll an understand, and I'll go with, because I'm looking for information, I'm going to use power and say authority attracts those who are corruptible. So am I rolling just one?
You'll be rolling two, and then Shizu and Zafir will be rolling one. All right.
Okay, that's 5 and a 16, so that's one success.
I got a 10.
An 11.
Great. So with that, you're going around and there are multiple dead. These people are not good. There are people standing in the background carrying away people that are wounded. You do see that they are receiving no medical attention, that they are not sending any to help them. You manage to help lift people, move them, and help everybody start to get them out away from what is still hot metal. And in doing so, you begin to see the people earlier that had squinted at you and perhaps looked a little enraged at you begin to lighten up a little towards you. And with that, you will receive a trait for this scene called Impressed by Nagaran Compassion. You can tell by dealing with these people that they are not used to receiving that kind of treatment. All tests to negotiate with Harkonnen workers in the future will be reduced by 1, as now they are impressed. However, tests with Harkonnen leaders and guards will be increased by 1, as they think you are weak.
Account for everybody or just the ones helping?
Yeah, is that the whole house or?
That's everybody.
Okay.
That's just as a whole, that is how you are now perceived.
Okay.
So you are taken and eventually make it back to administration. And Zahn immediately starts scolding you. That was unnecessary. We must allow our workers to be independent and self-sufficient if we want them to be most effective. But you saw the gratitude in their eyes. You follow Corbus to the administrative offices. As you enter, an aide hurries in and whispers in Zahn's ear before rushing out the door. He turns to you. It appears that you will get more of a lesson today than any of us thought. A group of anarchists have taken over part of the factory. How do you think this violence should be dealt with, Nagara? As Harkonnen medics, none of whom have the diamond tattoo on their foreheads, meaning that they're not real well qualified, attend you. The screams of workers ring in your ears. Corpus seems unmoved and instead is studying a ragged piece of paper that an aide has fearfully handed him. So this continues. at this point, if any of you receive an injury, you can have some minor medical treatment at this point. You can either reduce your burn by 1 or down to 2. Depending on, I think for Jiro, reducing it by 1 works better on your end, and then dropping yours down is the same, Natalia. So you have 2 now, and you have 1, Jiro, as the medics come and attend you. Yes, so you are down to the 1. In this moment, I am posting a picture into chat. This is the letter that Zahn was handed. And it reads as Zahn hands it over to House Nagara. There is no more you can do to us, so we have nothing to lose. We have taken several hostages in the hope that there are some people in this factory you care about. But if all you care about is profit, know that we have ceased all production and we will sabotage the machines to make this place useless to you for years if our demands are not met. All we want is for basic safety systems to be installed and medical aid for the injured. Give us this and we will return to work promptly. Further violence will only cost you both time and profit. Signed, Callum Ruta. You are now free to ask Corvus any questions you have about this.
Who is Callum Ruta?
He is simply a worker, and he apparently he is nothing more than a worker to Corvus. As you ask him, he just is. He could probably not even recognize the name. You can see that he shows no real recognition short of the fact that he's a worker.
So,
how are you going to fix this, Nagara?
Give us a moment. Just relax.
Why are your safety standards so deplorable?
They truly are. We saw how it was in there.
We must consider the profitability of the factory and its goods.
Of course.
The occasional casualty is unfortunate, but minimal amends to any family the worker may have are built into the budgets. Renovating the entire factory would require a substantial investment outside the current place.
Well, unfortunately, you can see it hasn't truly paid off now that you have a revolt. It's something that you should absolutely consider for the future. Let me console with my house here. And we
By
will...
my calculations, people are usually happier when they are taken care of.
The workers receive housing and food. We try to employ those that are single and have small or no families. Saves
I
on the
believe
cost.
that is a good first step.
Very positive of you.
Natalia, I would bow humbly at your intelligence. So please correct me if I am wrong by your previous statement, but happier workers would result in more profit directly, would it not?
100% that is correct. Yes.
And she just looks at him like...
Well, since you're so kind, you're more than welcome to negotiate with them and their leader. But be careful. They won't negotiate anywhere they don't have the advantage. So, firm negotiations without acquiescing to all demands is a satisfactory alternative if you don't see fit to take them out. If you do go this route, though, do keep our profits and budgets in mind, and as they are our highest priority. Having a factory like this operating at a loss will make us appear weak to our subjects and to our peers. Choice is yours, House Nagara.
It's like a them problem to me, sis.
I do understand. I know that the Harkons very much like to keep their appearances of being strong. I see that and I understand that, but I also believe that there should be lines and ways to help their employees personally. And I think that the requests here are, I think that they are good. And I see no issue with them. What do the rest of you think?
I concur. And if anything does get out of line, I will at least know how to react accordingly.
Zahn simply motions at the door and sits back and takes out and motions towards somebody to take out a pen and paper. We're watching. And so you are handed, and you may also pay attention to chat as I will be posting a picture of the factory floor. So in this situation, the rebels have spread out across the factory, a place they are intimately familiar with. They have destroyed security cameras and know the best places to hide and wait for an ambush. But you know that if you can get to Callum and either kill him or convince him, your choice, that the rest will likely follow. But first, you need to draw up a battle plan and find him. So, with this, I need one of you to make a battle test and everybody else to assist. Is this your moment to shine?
I feel like this is my moment to shine.
Yes.
Definitely.
Do it.
And especially with how I want to pair it, because my battle's at 7. I want to pair it with justice, because I must speak for those lives I command. So that's a 15. So
Okay. All right. Everybody roll to assist.
Ooh. I got a 12. I got a 1.
Ooh.
All right. Shizu.
Rolled a 17.
Alice.
9.
Boom. Natalia.
11.
14.
And Jiro. 6 successes. So, all right. So with each success, I get to place one of these cards down onto this battlefield. So I will place these cards for you, and then I will send a picture so that you can see them all. Let's see. Where do I want to do this? I would say, let's go.
Their overhead problem. These administration offices are huge. They could just reduce that and probably get out of the
Probably,
red
yeah.
easily.
yeah. Those furnaces are massive.
Wait,
Are
they looked into solar? I mean, geez.
I will have to say the furnace is probably necessary.
Oh, 100%. I say 100% to you jokingly, be like, I don't really know what I'm saying. I'm not going to question a mentat. I know better than that.
okay. Awesome. So let me send y'all the placement of your pieces so that you can see. And then I will describe this for viewers at home. Okay. So currently, House Nagara is posted up in the administrative offices. This factory is weaving hallways, doorways between machineries, forges, and furnaces, which you're all very familiar with now. You all have to make your way either as a group or individually to spread things out to find the group that is Callum's. I have placed these all down face down without looking. As you move, similar as before, you make the move test, difficulty 2, to move either subtly or boldly, to move your player, your character, through this factory. As you move into a room, the pieces that you see here is intel that you've already received. You know there are groups, either decoys, workers, or Callum himself, in all of those areas. That is the intel that you have gathered. You know for a fact that those are there. There may be others that you didn't know of yet. You're not sure. So this conflict will work the same as negotiation, but with different assets and objectives, obviously. Your objective is to find Callum and either defeat or negotiate with him. So you begin in the administrative offices and you will make your way. You will take it in turns and make moves to use assets. The workers are my assets and your character cards are your own. You can either stay together or spread out. The conflict works just as before. You make a difficulty 2 move test to move your character to another adjacent zone, either subtly or boldly. If you succeed, you may reveal all the cards in that zone. If you fail, you are unable to move. Revealed cards are turned over, so then you will then know whether it's a decoy, a worker group, or Callum. And they don't ever get unrevealed to you. If you use an asset in your zone that your character is in, that means you're either fighting or negotiating. So if you're fighting them, you're using your battle. If you're negotiating, you're using communicate. And if you win either test, the card is removed from play, and that shows them defeated. Obviously, that's the goal, is to defeat them either in communication or battle. You can also be defeated. On my turns, if you receive equal to your battle skill, if you lose that many times, you are removed from play. Based on previous dice rolls by me, I don't foresee that for you. But any character that is in the same zone as you, so if for some reason Natalia and Zafir, you guys move together to one of those areas, one of you can roll and one of you can assist. So you can all assist. It's just typically one roll. Obviously, if you fail the test, the workers attack you and you suffer a point of damage from the conflict. The worker card remains on that map. This is a point towards the requirement. Yep. And on my turn, I move any card I have not yet moved by one zone with no test. Cards that enter a zone occupied by a player, so if I were to move one of these into your zone, are automatically revealed. And instead of moving, I can pick a zone with revealed worker gang. All player characters in that zone have to make a difficulty 3 battle or suffer a point of damage. So I will, in this situation, I'm going to let you all decide the order in which you're moving, because this is your battle strategy, and I will allow you to decide if you're going separately or staying together.
Mm.
I look at the group and I say, I am quite badly injured.
Mm.
I do not feel I will be much of an asset. However, I would love to tag along with anyone.
I can protect you. I can keep you safe. I promise not to spout any numbers mentat while I do that, but I can keep you safe.
100% gratitude.
Do you have a Tootsie that is injured? So I will not be going anywhere by myself.
I will stick with my brother.
I will go alone.
All right, so Alice will be moving alone. Shizu and Jiro will be together. Natalia and Zafir will be together. The administrative offices are immediately attached to a few places that you know of. There is the casting area where you came from, general machinery, and a storage unit. Which group or which player is going first? I nominate Shizu. So Shizu, you will make your move test first, followed by Jiro.
All right. So
This is a move test, difficulty 2. And then are you moving subtly or boldly?
We'll move subtly.
Okay.
So, which statement? I am going to go with power, actually. The ability to destroy a thing is the key to controlling it.
Okay.
And so that is 15. These are too high stats for me. Okay. So that is a 15 and oh wait, that's a 1. I forget that the 1 is the symbol on the Dune dice. So not the 20. So okay, so a 1 and a 15. So that's 1 success. If it's on the number, is that a success?
That is a success. And then
Okay.
a 1 counts as 2 successes.
Oh, right. Yay. Perfect.
Okay. Yeah, so you successfully can move. Are you moving into the casting area, the machinery, or material storage?
Let's go with let's go with the casting area.
Okay. And as you're moving subtly, you may choose to keep the initiative. As I can tell you that next up is me. This is my turn. Next, and if you choose to keep the initiative, it will postpone my turn in lieu and let Jiro go next instead of me.
I will keep the initiative then.
Okay. Jiro.
I guess I'm also moving subtly because that's how
Alright.
Jiro moves. My move is great, so good it's 4. This is a big duty time for me. Oh no, I said that all wrong.
We had no nowheres and now we have big duty time. Thank you guys.
Hey,
We're adults. It's all good.
Jiro is moving dutifully because this is showtime for House Nagara. You have to show these Harkonnens up at their own game. So my target's going to be a 12, and then I believe because of my injured Tootsie, this makes it a difficulty 3 for me.
Yep.
I would like to roll another die by generating a threat, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know about burning the rest of our what's it called? Not determination.
Momentum.
Momentum yet.
You can also you can give me threat and give yourself dice as well.
Yeah, that's what. Well, let's see. So 12. No, that's 1 success. 12, a 13, and a 14.
Okay. In that situation, yeah, I didn't think you fail and you're unable to move. So you go to move in this moment, but I mean your foot hurts.
I can't get the lock. I keep jiggling the door handle and it's like flat. It's like stuck on something, and I'm just like, no, I'll get it here in a minute. And
yeah. All right. As you failed, it is now my turn.
put the whole team down.
Shizu, as you enter into the casting area, you arrive, everything seems quiet. You look behind you, waiting for Jiro to follow, when a worker gang enters the room. Now I need you to make a difficulty 3 battle test.
All right. Battle.
Or wait, hang on. No, actually, never mind. That's fine.
Okay.
I can't do it until next turn. But
Okay.
they're
But I
in
see
there.
them. Mhm.
Yes, this worker gang walks in.
Okay.
You do not see Callum or anybody of authority, but they are clearly enraged.
Okay.
But a worker gang does walk in. And now I will say, Alice, It is your turn.
Okay. I think because Shizu and Jiro are moving into the casting area that's above the molding area there.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they have moved into the casting area. Then there is the molding area, which there's not a direct hallway attached to administration, but then you have general machinery and material storage.
Okay. I think I would, if possible, I'd like to move Alice into general machinery.
Into general machinery. Okay.
And that'll be move. And I will go with faith because I'm trusting in Jiro and Shizu here. So that is 14. And I'm rolling 2. That is an 11 and a 20. So a fail and a success.
So you do not move. And you go to open one of the doors, specifically one to general machinery. There's somebody holding the door shut. And you can hear sound on the other side. So, my turn. So, now, Shizu, now I need you to make a battle test of 3 as the workers come in and just see somebody of authority. They attempt to attack.
Okay. So
you can generate threat. So you can give me a threat to buy a 3rd dice, or you do have 2 momentum.
So I have something for battling or for fighting. The slow blade, and I'm just seeing if this would be good. The slow blade pierces the shield. You're well versed in this, always avoiding opponent's defenses. So when you make an attack during a duel or skirmish using a melee weapon, so if they are being hostile toward me, I would attack. If I buy 1 or more dice by spending momentum, I may choose one of the enemy's assets in the same zone as my attack. I can ignore the asset during that attack. So that
there's only 1 asset in this space right now, so it wouldn't remove. Yeah, it wouldn't ignore that one.
Okay, so I will just roll the battle then.
Are you going to take one of the momentum? This is a difficulty 3.
Yes, I will take one.
Okay.
Okay. So that I'm going to use power again. So 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14. So 14 is my difficulty. All right. 11, 9, 14.
3 successes. You begin to go toe to toe, whipping out your blade. You are managing to fend them off, and finally but with this, even though this is conflict, let's see, I will allow you this option. As they are defeated, they will be removed from play. Are you knocking them unconscious, or are you killing them, Shizu? They are going for blood. They are not being kind. But what does Shizu in this moment do?
I think Shizu would just knock them out.
Okay. That is good to know.
Yeah. Yep.
That. Okay. Alrighty. Then it is either Natalia or Zafir.
I'll go first, just for safety reasons for Natalia.
Boldly or subtly?
It's funny. If it had originally just been me by myself, I probably would have done boldly. But with Natalia, now I'm just going to go as subtle as possible and be as swift as can be.
Okay.
So I'll do my move with justice because I feel like I must speak for those who lives at command. At the moment, I feel like I want to watch over Natalia. And if you are with me, I want to make sure you're safe, especially in this situation that seems very heated.
I mean,
So
all of my rolls are a 4, so I'm not going to make any of them.
Yeah, they're 4.
Yeah.
You can buy threat or with threat.
The GM subtly says, you could buy threat with a smile. Right way to play, I get it. So I have a 14 as my target. This is so weird again. So I got an 18, but then I got a 1.
Okay, so that's 2 successes. So you move subtly. Where are you moving to?
Materials storage. I feel like the way we're all doing it, we all each have a room that we're trying to go through, and it's just a good straight line to go down. So materials storage.
Okay. So you move in there, and there's a worker gang that had eluded your intel. And they are in there as you enter into the room. So let's see. All right. That is, let's see. If you use an asset to just making sure that you can't, like, because your turn is move, so I'm like making sure it's not. Yeah, no, that's it. So you come in, there's a worker gang. Okay. And you did move subtly, so would you like to keep initiative?
Yes, I would.
Okay. In that situation, Natalia.
Hey.
You have 1 momentum.
I sure do. Can I yell to Zafir and, like, Natalia tries to move subtly into the same room and just is in so much pain and yells towards Zafir that she doesn't think that she can make it, that there's 100% chance I'm just gonna weigh you down.
Okay.
I don't as a player and as Natalia, like, analyzing the situation, she's just not worth the amount of failures that will be happening.
Okay.
Can I, with Jiro, I guess, sort of, like,
I will say,
defend?
Here's the thing. I was going to say, as you are all in administration together, you can all assist Natalia to leave the room if you want. And vice versa.
Right.
On next turns, if you all want to assist Alice or Jiro to leave, you may all assist. But if you are on your own again, Natalia, then...
Right.
So that is something to consider as well.
Jeez.
I mean, I'll assist.
Okay.
You can stay or you
Say it's
can...
up.
Okay. So, Alice, if you will roll a d20, Jiro, roll a d20, Natalia, roll 2.
All right. So we're doing move. And I think at this moment, duty is playing incredibly important. So that is target 11. I got a 6 and a 7.
A what?
6 and a 7.
And 11 and...
3.
Natalia, and you said you are moving subtly?
Yes.
You follow in behind Zafir, and you walk in, and you now see he is in a room with a worker gang as they are slowly approaching. So, top of the round, after I make a move.
Of course.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's do this. Okay. Now, Shizu, it is back to you. You are surrounded by unconscious people. Jiro has not joined you yet, so you do not know what is holding him up. Are you moving forward without him?
I should wait for my brother in case. Well, I feel like there's not danger here. I took care of the danger. So if he's a little slow to follow, I'm sure he'll be fine. I'm feeling kind of ambitious and like want to like keep moving forward. So I will continue on.
Okay. As you continue on to a furnace room, right? That's where we're.
Yeah.
You find a worker gang and Callum.
Oh. Oh boy. Okay.
As they have been pressing forward. You walk in and you come eye to eye.
You must be Callum.
You look and he's glaring, trying to make heads or tails of who you are. You maybe vaguely recognize the person, having seen them before. There are several supervisors who look frightened for their lives and are tied up, but are otherwise alive. Callum and his supporters look broken by years of working for the Harkonnen, but they're not defeated by any means. You can see the desperation in their faces. They're ready to do whatever it takes. They all are gripping heavy metal tools and begin to hold them up. But perhaps there is still a way to end this situation peacefully. Are you going to battle? Or are you going to negotiate?
I would like to negotiate.
Okay. As this is not a great situation, this is a difficulty 4.
Okay.
However, because of the compassion you showed earlier, this is a difficulty 3.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad we did that. Oh, awesome.
But
another
it
one.
could have been reduced up further if you had not knocked out the other gang before. That's okay.
Okay, that's fair. That's
so
fair.
But this is difficulty 3. You have 1 momentum, and you can also you have 1 momentum to spend. You can also spend 1 threat for 1 dice, or 3 for 2 extra dice to succeed on this communicate.
So 1 threat for 1 die, then I think I'll do.
Okay. If you spend 2 more, you get another die.
I'll keep it at this for now.
Okay.
So that gives me 3 dice or 4
Yes,
if I.
That gives you 3 right now.
Okay.
With that, if you have any of your determination left,
I
then
do. I
you
have
can
1
get
left.
an automatic 1.
This is a big roll, so I think I'm going to use that last one, my last
So
determination.
Okay, so one of those 3 dice is a 1. You'll roll the other 2.
Okay, so that's 1.
2 successes.
All right, let's go. Come on. Oh, so I have to pick my statement. Okay, so we're doing
Communicate and
communicate, and I'm going to do duty for this. I think this is a big one. And my statement is: people are the true strength of a noble house. And I believe that, and that I'm, negotiating rather than just fighting. We're trying to work this out with these people. So that is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that is 12. Let's roll. Oh, I rolled an 8, and that's a 6. I was like, which way is this? That's a 6.
That is 4 successes. I've posted Callum's picture in chat. Callum is harsh, ashy, scarred, wrinkled, scruffy, burly. So, Callum looks you in the eye and reaches out, grasping your fingers as in an imperial handshake. Shizu, you've gone back and forth. What is it that you say to Callum to win his favor?
House Nagara has seen the conditions of this place, and we are in agreement that there needs to be better safety measures and there needs to be assistance and aid for all of you. And we understand that the Harkonnens do have a standard that they follow and an image that they look to appeal to, but that in this situation, we want to make sure that you all are taken care of and that they can still meet their goals while we also put basic safety systems in place, medical aid, make sure that there is assistance for all of you. So we are happy to meet those demands.
A small, slight, hopeful grin appears on Callum's face. House Nagara has my respect. Without anyone the wiser, he reaches over, puts his hand on top of your hand, and he slips several pieces of tiny paper into your hand. And it reads, "Beware, Nagara. Zahn cannot be trusted." As Corbus, Zahn, and several troops arrive, you stand between their guns and your new allies. He says, "We've resolved the issue. The workers are going to go back to work, and we have given our word and been given word that safety measures will be put in place. And we will actually be getting the medical attention we deserve. So no further actions needed on your part." Corbus is clearly filled with rage and disbelief. But before he can even remotely say anything else, House Nagara has given their word. If you dare make us and them into liars, then pretty sure Ganley will dictate our response. Zahn looks at you, Shizu, heir to House Nagara, and glares. He clearly detests the position that you have put him in, but he has no choice. He waves his men away and agrees to the arrangement. But he's clearly already plotting something in retribution.
Shizu, she stands confidently in her decision. She's not going to back down or bow down to this and to his, like, she can clearly see the agitatedness in Zahn, but she's not going to let that affect the decision she made, and she'll stand true to it.
This way to administration. We'll get your mentat and brother further medical assistance.
Much appreciated.
Motions. As you make your way back to the administrative offices, that is where we're going to take a quick 10-minute break. Let everybody go on the bio, do what they got to do. Then we will be back and see what the fallout is from your decision and how Harkonnen's going to react.
Mm-hmm.
So, thanks everybody for watching so far. We'll be back in 10 minutes. Go do your thing and we'll see how the very friendly and trusting Harkonnens treat them. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Agents of Dune. So, after being brought to the factory to observe what is supposed to be Harkonnen efficiency, you immediately find absolute health hazards, no safety regulations or precautions. You can see the workers are disgruntled. Of course, observing and prodding just a bit further, you can see that Zahn is hiding something from you all. You can see that Zahn is kind of, even as volunteering workers to talk to you, kind of has his thumb over them. In the midst of this conversation, however, one of the vats breaks and falls. Molten metal pours over workers and a couple of your own, as Natalia is severely burned and Jiro does also receive burns. You do manage to save one of the two workers that you were speaking to, Zav, before getting out. Showing compassion, which is something that the Harkonnen and people of Gady Prime are not used to, several of you help the wounded workers and assist in trying to get them away from this really bad situation. But while you are in administrative offices receiving medical care, which is declined and not provided to the workers, Zahn receives a letter essentially stating terms of a hostage situation from workers inside. You all responded accordingly, insisting that you were going to solve this with negotiation and were not going to kill the workers as Zahn had suggested, going so far as Shizu knocking her group unconscious rather than killing them outright. Shizu being alone, even though others were moving to assist and were beginning to initiate encounters of their own, you stumbled into Callum and on your own, bolstering yourself, managed to negotiate with him into a ceasefire, showing after those weeks of dedication to your training and to your house that you've made headway. There is a part of you walking back to the administration office with this situation under your belt. There is part of you that is empowered. And for the first time in a while, you have some confidence moving into being the leader of House Nagara. You see what your mom was talking about. Jiro and Alice. Shizu returns, and you can see her head held high, entering into the room, followed by a very agitated Zahn. Shortly thereafter, Zafir and Natalia, you are led back in with assistance, Natalia, as medics return to you and Jiro and begin addressing your burns to where you are now healed, at least for the time. You have no minuses at this time. So, you are led outside. But in this moment, in this walkway, Zahn is keeping his distance, and you can see him barking commands, and you can see him pointing and making orders from afar as you're being led to one of the ornithopters you can hear outside. You have this moment to yourselves.
I would look to the group and say, I found Callum, I negotiated, and I agreed to their terms of providing them with aid for all of the workers. And I say under my breath, I could tell that some did not take it as well, but I think it was the right decision.
Yes,
Impressive.
you look very happy.
I am, honestly. I think House Nagara needs to have a level of compassion. And I know we are working with a house that has a very strong fist on things, but that doesn't mean that those whom they work with need to follow that same suit. I think there can be a level of there can be a good medium and balance between what House Nagara can offer and what House Harkonnen can offer. And
House Harkonnen has a 20% compassion rate here in this city. Now, with our addition to this in this factory, we may raise that to 25%.
I hope so. And I genuinely hope that these workers at least have some better experience and better conditions from this moving forward. But I do have my concerns, but we can discuss those later.
So the ornithopter's motors hum around you as you leave the factory. Turo Imshel and Nir and Rani have arrived to join you and hear about your performance. They, along with Zahn, sit across from you in the small cabin. The air is frosty, to say the least. Niren crosses his arms and barks at you. So how do you think that went?
I think it went well. We avoided more bloodshed than needed, and I think that is a win personally. This will look good for your relationship with your future workers, and you may see an increase in productivity from this. Actually, I think we can guarantee that you'll see an increase in productivity from this.
Turo smiles at you, puts his hands out. Perhaps we should analyze this outcome with a little more objectivity. This is actually a good lesson to discuss. As you look at Zahn, he's staring outside of the window, not making eye contact.
Might I also add that you said that we would be completely safe while inside of this factory, and I would like to point out that majority of our party did get injured while in there, and one of us, that would be myself, severely, I might add.
Yes.
And I second that. Your safety protocols are not the best.
Truly, it was very dangerous.
I am not saying that the chances would have been any higher of me not getting injured if our guards were in there and instead, but I would say we were given the word.
Been hurt.
That's probably true.
Do you have any questions for us? Zahn says, looking away from the window back at you all.
Does the falling of the molten metal happen often?
No. Most of our factories are efficient.
I see. So then what was the actual probability of that happening today while we as visitors were inside?
Next to none. All of our facilities are efficient, as this one once was.
I look at the mentat for confirmation.
Nods. As you can see that Turo and Niren are both like deferring to Zahn.
Okay. I shoot a look to Alice and just cease my questioning.
Would you like to know what we would have done?
Yes, go ahead, Alice.
No, go. I defer to you as always.
I have my assumptions on what you would have done, but I would love to hear it.
We would have placed all of the workers in a complex that retrains them to be more dedicated workers, that dominates the center of the barony to prevent the idea of insurrection from spreading. We would have interrogated any participants and then executed them promptly. We would bring in new workers from other factories, as we always do, regardless.
And you would argue that that would cost you less than just treating them better?
There's more effort and time into trying to correct their behavior, when there are plenty that can step up.
So you admit that you do not have the time and effort.
Zahn looks out the window as there you can hear something coming over a radio, and you see someone leaning from the cockpit towards Zahn. Zahn smiles. Unfortunately, a new set of mutineers attacked while we've been away. And we've had to halt all work in the factory. Apparently, it was a total loss. All resources have been liquidated.
That is unfortunate. When did this happen? This happened while we were at the factory?
Just now, I'm told.
I see.
And I wonder, does this word have the same meaning on Gady Prime as it does back home? When you say liquidated, you mean you've turned those assets into currency, or that you've melted them?
We've handled them in the fashion that Harkonnen do.
Alice,
So you melted them.
Alice with hyper awareness is going to notice that he smiles at the news that this place has been liquidated. I'm trying to think. I mean, I think I know the answer to this question, which is the question is why is he smiling at that? And I think the answer is because he does not want to see Nagara succeed. So that's a plus on him.
Well,
so
roll and understand. Go ahead and roll and understand.
Okay. I'll do understand in truth. So it'll give me a target of 11. That's a 3.
I'm advising.
Okay, then do the thing.
It allows you to re-roll a d20.
Okay, I got a 3, so I think that's target of 11. So I got a 3 on that.
Did you? 3 successes.
Oh, sorry. How many? I'm supposed to roll twice.
2.
Me.
Yes. I was like, damn.
Another 3. So 3 and 3.
Yeah, that is 2 successes. Okay. You immediately know Alice. You see right through it. They got to handle things their way first and foremost. Your method didn't work. Your method appeared weak. They were right. Zahn was right. You were wrong. At least that's the look that appears on his face. But you cannot shake the feeling that that's probably not exactly how it went down.
Yeah, and I guess Alice to herself is like, okay, but if that's true, then we obviously showed that our method of negotiating worked well because they didn't lose any workers except for a couple that got a bonk on the head from Shizu. So who are like, they'll be back to work later. They're not permanently dead, So it's kind of like while we were doing this thing that worked really, really well, we could not be in the other place, and their method, quote unquote, worked really, really well. So that's I think that's where she's thinking, but she's gonna pocket that to tell them later.
Yeah.
You can see Niren smirk a bit because Niren's resort is always violence.
Mm-hmm.
Jiro has kind of a sour look on his face and kind of is looking at Zahn almost disdainfully, like, why, like, because it's looking at Zahn in a way that it's like, why are you reveling in this? We're teaching them. Why are you reveling in this? But silence falls upon the group, and the thrum of the ornithopter's motors, the only sound that you hear. After you arrive at Harkonnen Keep, Zahn lifts his chin after staring out the window for some time. That's all for today. You should rest and recuperate. After all, that was an intense exercise. He bows and gestures down the long, glow globe lit hallways toward the residential part of the keep where you've all been residing. The dim industrial design of Harkonnen Manor surrounds you as you head to your rooms. You all have this sick feeling. Shizu, you know the feeling you had when you left. You know that Callum and the group was ready to comply. You know that for certain. Alice, you saw the way that Zahn was acting. Jiro's astute enough that you picked up on it. Natalia, you know how math works. That just doesn't compute. And Zafir, everything that you've seen and observed earlier, especially between you and Alice, it doesn't sit right. And you arrive at the dormitory in your shared living space together. The door closes behind you, and you have the room. Natalia, your wounds are bandaged, and you have the materials and some of your own now personal attendants for Nagara begin redressing yours and Jiro's wounds. And they immediately go from feeling like you put a Band-Aid on something to actually cooling and beginning to heal as they put salves and wraps.
Yeah, I definitely am just laying on whatever lounge there is in this room.
Even their attempts to govern appear to be a poorly wrapped Band-Aid on wounds underneath. Shizu, Jiro, I'm sure you saw the look on and she gives a little imperceptible little sneer herself, the smile given.
Yes. Clearly, the decision we made today has caused a lot of tension. But I stand by it.
And of course, I stand behind you on it.
When I was negotiating with Callum, I received something, and I pull out a little piece of paper, and I just hand it to Alice for her to read. And yeah, it just says, "San can't be trusted. Beware."
Oh, I did not require a note to tell me that he was.
Of course, neither did I, but this confirms it, and we should expect retaliation. And I show the note to Zafir, Jiro, Natalia as well, just kind of subtly, just in case I'm a little paranoid if people are listening.
Well, and you all also know your training is coming to a close sooner than later. You've been here for weeks now. You know that it's not too long. And you can feel as long as you've been here, you continue to feel those tensions building. And by this point in time, you are sick of the atmosphere, both physically and socially.
It is rather sickening. And it's at some point, something's going to happen. I feel it. Like, we obviously don't agree with their methods of things. They don't agree with how we handle things. And at some point, there's going to be some sort of clash, some sort of breaking point, something to tip them over completely. I want to do what we can to keep our relations strong, but I just feel like it's going to crumble soon.
Their demeanor is as analogous as their weather. It's dreary. It's not fun. And I concur, Shizu. We must be on our guard right now. Something doesn't feel right. And I just look at Alice and just immediately recall all the safety measures of that building were just abysmal.
Abysmal is a word complimentary to what that was.
Yes.
I concur.
They sent us there to look at the factory, see if we noticed any weak points. And it's I think they expected us to find weak points in the people. Meanwhile, we were finding weak points in their system. And it just doesn't seem, it's is this a joke?
It was.
Conan, has a house and as a system, feel as if they've not really done anything wrong in most of these situations.
It's
They
true.
don't view their people as assets like House Nagara does.
It was not a joke, cousin Shizu. It was a attempted show of power. It was an attempt at intimidation. But fortunately, the two of you, and she references her cousins, are much stronger than that, alongside the rest of our companions, with an extra nod to Natalia.
Oh, you're right. And we will not be intimidated by them. They are a powerful house, but so are we. And I'm not bending to their whims if I don't agree with it.
Jiro, you are also now served with your daily cheese board and provided an extra wrap for your leg as your attendants are bringing you beverages and
Listen for a face mask too. It's been a long day.
They bring all of it. One of the little ice little eye masks, and you look over, and in an instant, Jiro is sitting there, foot propped up, eye mask, cheese board, some kind of fizzy beverage with a little umbrella sticking out of it.
Yeah, all of it, 100%.
Natalia just kind of sits there and says, I went to the Harkonnen factory and all I got was burned toes.
We didn't even get a t-shirt.
To which I just approach you and to which I would approach Natalia and be like, how's your leg doing?
They're okay, both of them. Now that our medical team has assisted me with them. Truly, what they called medical at that factory was poor and very, very underfunded.
Didn't even offer me a lolly at the end like you're supposed to.
Or a sticker.
Zafir just walks away shaking his head you know what? I'm good. Going to this cheese board.
So the evening progresses a bit. You continue in this space, amidst all of everything dreary that is Gady Prime. It's in these moments, both as a family and as a house, but the feeling of family brings you together. And in these moments, for just that little bit of time, making wisecracks, giggling at the eye masks that Jiro is continually brought as one thaws, another is brought. It's in these moments that you don't feel so far away from home. You're beginning to feel like these people are home. And as much as you long for the clean air and the food and the open plains of your homeworld, they're not so bad. And you begin to prepare for the following day, where you will be, again, checking in on your goods and preparing for your trip to Arrakis, which is growing closer and closer. And it is with that we're going to end tonight's session, with all of you sharing some laughs together after witnessing what was not a good time. So, thank you everybody so much for watching tonight's episode. We're going to give a quick round of applause for everybody. I love you guys.
We did it.
You did. You did. You did it. You did
successfully negotiated. So I feel good about that.
And Natalia is becoming our flagship for getting seriously wounded.
Yes. Yes, she is.
Poor Natalia. We must protect our mental.
Truly, Natalia's stats are like, if it doesn't have to do with the brain, it's not a good thing.
Oh God. Okay, but we'll let all of my players give quick shout outs. Tell me what you're doing right now, anything you want people to look out for, things you got coming up, do all the things. We'll go ahead and start with Tracie.
Hello, everybody. Tracie again, Miss Match Tech. Feel free to follow me at twitch.tv/MagiRPG. I changed my handle this year, my Twitch handle from Miss Match Tech to MagiRPG, because basically that's all I'm doing on my channel now is TTRPGs. Mostly D&D, but yesterday we ran Cyberpunk Red. So we do other games, Mothership, a bunch of other fun games. So feel free to check us out. Otherwise, I'll be here every other Sunday.
All right, Sherrick.
Hello, I am your favorite burb on the internet. You can call me A Black Sparrow, and you can find me at A Black Sparrow on the Twitch, the Instagram, and the Twitter at A Black Sparrow. I also put out a podcast called Amelia and Sherrick, What Are You Doing? That comes out every Friday. It's a pop culture podcast. Comes out every Friday AM, and you can find that, as well as more information about all the other stuff that I'm up to at SherrickRobinson.com.
All right, Nate. Don't gotta
Hello there. I actually rolled pretty well today. I'm actually kind of shocked by that.
I'm so proud of you.
In the heat of the moment, I was like, yeah. An Obi-Wan level, Kenobi. Hello there. I'm Nate Bushman, photographer, sort of former theater designer, doing a lot of writing right now. If you want to follow my random writing musings, as I'm doing a lot of sketch comedy stuff on writing, Twitter, Nate_B. I'm also posting a lot of photo stuff because I've been busy doing photo things lately. You can check that on Instagram at IndieNate, INDIE Nate, and future projects in the work. Can't talk about them yet.
Ominous. Jess.
Hello, my name is Jess. You can find me around the internet on Instagram as @j.rancor and everywhere else as Goblin Queen with 3 E's. I am an actor, usual void screamer, and general tabletop RPG enjoyer. I will be here every other Sunday, trying not to die.
Hey, you didn't die today. You did get a really bad owie though. And I collected a lot of threat today, kids. Miguel.
Oh, hi everyone. I've been Miguel. You can find me around the internet at Miguel_classical. On Twitter, I love to talk about my favorite X-Men. On Instagram, I love to throw out photos of burritos I make. So there you go. Speaking of, I am actually working on probably a one-page RPG about making burritos and other foods in a modern fantasy setting. So more on that later. Tentative working title is Burrito Quest Remix to Feed a Kingdom. But we'll see what actually fits on a one-shooter. So yeah, that's me.
I love that so much. My name is Taryn, also known as Valrook across the socials. Actually also working on possible social changes to make things continuous because I started making TikToks. I've got one TikTok and it's under Umbraloculus, which is also my dice making moniker. But not the only thing falling under the lens of the Umbraloculus will not just be dice in the future. Will also be TTRPGs and other projects. So figuring that out. But I am a generally creative human, cat lover, eldritch entity, all the things. You can catch me here, obviously, every other Sunday. You can catch me at the Red Hair in this coming Tuesday and alternating Tuesdays for the Ephraim Expeditions, where I play a cinnamon roll pink-haired moth lady. So you should come watch her there. I'll be doing a mini series starting in August over there as well on alternating Fridays, which is called Dust to Dust, which is a spooky witchy tale. And I thoroughly recommend that as well if you like spooky vibes in Dungeons and Dragons. Coming up in August as well. I will be here on the initiative order for the Mythical Melee, where we will be fundraising as well. And I got to go fast, and I promise you're too slow. So But with that, thank you guys so much for watching. Quick shout out to our sponsors here at the Initiative Order, Session Zero Clothing, code ORDER at checkout for 15% off there in their shop. Norse Foundry, Artists and Dice Makers, TIO15 in their shop for 15% off there. Mithril Armory, dice puzzles that kick my ass. Maybe you'll do better. Code Initiative in their shop for 10% off of all of their gear. And again, when I have my dice restock coming up, you can use Code Initiative in my shop for 10% off full sets of artisan dice that I hand pour and polish myself, because why not? So yes, thank you all so much for watching. Thanks for subs, bits, etc. Come join our inclusive and protective community where you are free to be whoever the hell you want, and we will love you for it, because fuck yeah. So everybody have a good night. Thanks so much for watching Agents of Dune.